man's wife suddenly comes out as polyamorous. I30M and my wife 30F have been in a wonderful relationship for the past 11 years. We are college sweethearts and have been through so much together. From living in multiple cities to eloping and dealing with our pissed off friends and families together, to seeing each other through the unalives of loved ones, to getting our first and second cats together. We lived our second childhood together, as we like to call it, and have had the most loving relationship I could ever ask for. Well, earlier this year, that all came crashing down for me. This year, my wife came out to me as polyamorous and told me that it was just something she was learning about herself. I felt taken aback by it and felt all sorts of insecurities. Am I not enough? Is this relationship a joke to you? Why do you need to F other people? Of course, I didn't say any of these things to her, but instead tried to remain calm and discuss the topic with her. She told me that it wasn't something she necessarily had the energy to pursue, but that it was a side of herself she was interested in exploring eventually. That gave me some relief because at least I felt like I had time to process everything with her and learn more about polyamory, and maybe challenge myself to see if I just learned more, then it would be okay. After she told me, we were talking about polyamory and what that might look like for us every now and then on date nights. I was always uncomfortable talking about it because, in truth, I just wanted her. I don't want to think about other partners every time I think about her. I want her and only her. Why can't I be enough? If she is truly polyamorous and wants other people in her, doesn't that imply that I was never enough? Anyways, I entertained the idea because, well, she has always been bisexual, and there was always a part of me that felt guilty for trapping her in a heterosexual relationship. See, I was her first and only, and sometimes I wonder if part of her feels like her queerness never really got to be expressed because of that. So maybe this could work. And hey, it's not like it's realistic to expect that either of us would ever feel attraction of any kind to someone else. It's just about whether it's acted on or not. The months pass, and we both learn more about polyamory and what that can look like. We like the idea of a monopoly or hierarchical relationship, and I stupidly think, yeah, our love is so strong, I'll definitely learn to want this. I'll be the primary partner, and I'll always come first. I believe her when she says that, because she's only ever been 100% there for me through thick and thin. But inside, I'm worried, because if she finds another, won't she stop being there for me 100%? I tell her my fears, and she comforts me, telling me that I am the love of her life, and that she's not going anywhere. But then again, if she wants to see other people, isn't she going somewhere? I love her so much and want to believe her, but I find myself dying inside whenever consensual non-monogamy or polyamory is brought up. I started reading all the propaganda out there by people in polyamorous relationships. Oh, it's so ethical. Monogamists don't even know how to communicate. Most one-one marriages fail because we're not evolved for that. We have so much love to give. I start telling myself all those sweet nothings and denying myself the right to want monogamy. And the thing is, I believe my wife when she tells me that she will prioritize me. The problem is that I don't want that. I don't want someone to just come by and take her away from me ever. I don't want some fur to call themselves her partner because I want to be the only one. I have given her all of myself, and she's always given all of herself to me. And I'm here, making myself feel selfish for not wanting to share. F me. Well, this all came to a head one day when she finally came to me with what I didn't want to hear. She developed feelings for someone else and wanted to tell me about them for transparency. She's always been honest and transparent with me, but man, did this one hit me like a fing truck. She assured me that she hasn't acted on it, that person doesn't know, and she doesn't have to take it any further than I am comfortable. But I get a panic attack and start having visions of her leaving me. We talk a lot, and she spends a lot of time comforting me, and we agree to see a poly-friendly therapist who can guide us through what we're going through. We go see the therapist, and she points out that we have a wonderful relationship, but our communication has broken down. My wife had agreed that we wouldn't do anything with polyamory this year, and while she hasn't acted on anything, telling me was basically asking me to move things forward. I eventually break down and confess that I don't want any of this, and that I haven't been allowing myself to be okay with wanting the beautiful relationship we already have. It's a tough conversation that the therapist guides us through, and eventually we decide to put a formal pause on polyamory talks. My life had been suffering because of a lot of losses simultaneously. My best friend decided to stop being friends with me because she was jealous of my wife. My workplace laid off my best friends and left only me behind, and my grandmother passed away. I haven't been sleeping well, and I've been gaining weight. I just need my life to be stable for a little bit. We all eventually agree that it's best that we take a few months to work on our communication and to help me move on from a lot of the loss I have been experiencing. She promises that we can go as slowly as we need to, and that I can have more time if I want. She won't act on any feelings and promises to treat the topic as delicately and sparsely as she can. But she also admits that being poly is something she needs, and she has so much love to give. We'll be monogamous for a few more months while I get my SHT together, I guess. The thing is, she has been so wonderful to me, and we have had such a beautiful life together. I don't want anyone else but her, and I want her all to myself. I can have her for a few more months, and I'm afraid that when those months pass and it's time to revisit this conversation, I'll be changed and learn to be okay with this. I'll be okay and watch the world we built together slowly fade. Watch her walk away from me as I stop being the only one in her life. The thing is, I already stopped being that to her the moment she figured she was poly. My relationship with her, as I know it, has already ended, and I'm staring down on our final months as a monogamous couple. I'm trying to hold myself together and be a better husband and partner anyway. If I'm going to be let down in the end, I might as well have had the best thing last months with her as I know it. This could all work out, or it couldn't. Either way, my marriage, as I knew it, is essentially over. There's something else there now in its place. I never wanted this, but it's what I get. Part of me prays that if I ever entertain this poly SHT a few months from now, she starts dating and realizes that dating thing sucks, and, never mind, I'm not poly, just silly. But that's just a fantasy. I have a few months left with her. Then, as we knew it was done, we'd be something else. Maybe it can be better, but I get this nagging feeling that I'll have to learn to let her go already. She has so much love to give, and one day, I won't be the only one. And maybe it'll be over. I'm broken, but I know this isn't necessarily the end. Update. Thank you for all of your comments, advice, and kind words. After reading a lot of what you all had to say, I decided that, at the very least, I should be honest with myself by being honest with her about what I want. I talked to her and reiterated that I only want to be with her, and I don't want her to see anyone else, and that any changes to our relationship dynamic have to be discussed, enthusiastically consented to, and reaffirmed regularly. I asked her to confirm with me that we are monogamous right now, and she said yes, and she said that I am her life partner and the one she wants to be with. I apologized to her for not being clear earlier about my discomfort, and we decided to hit the reset button on all of this during the pause. I asked her to cut off ties with that person she has feelings for, and while she was saddened by this, she asked me to trust that she would do it and not bring that person up again. She told me she wants to choose me, even if it's painful right now, and she can't promise that she won't resent me over this, but would let me know if that happens. You all are right. Our relationship isn't poly in any form, unless we're both in it 100%, because poly relationships require honest communication and consent, not unlike mono relationships. The point being, your relationship is what you both enthusiastically consent to, and anything less than complete and utter consent is unethical and harmful. We both had a hand in this, and are working to be better to ourselves and to each other. To be clear, I left out in my original post that she told me that she would be okay with me seeing other people and would be happy for me. But I had told her repeatedly over the last few months that I don't like the idea of seeing anyone else because I have everything I could want and more with her. So why would I look? I love her, and I love our relationship. I want all the good and the bad, and growing together is what gives me the most satisfaction. And I don't care for NRE. I want old relationship energy. I want to love her more every day. I want to deal with her SHT because it's her and not anyone else. I want to make joyous memories together. It pained me every time that she implied or stated that dating other people is okay. And I had to specifically tell her to stop saying I am allowed to date others outside of our therapy sessions because it felt like coercion. And she apologized and agreed that she was overly excited and inconsiderate. I told her multiple times, and I hope she sticks to her word. She also admitted to me that sometimes she mourns all she could have had. I asked her if that meant she would have wanted to swap the life we had for something else. She said no and meant that she sometimes mourns a different life like a curiosity, but I didn't quite buy that. She said that she loves the life we had together, while simultaneously mourning what could have been, and that mourning is only sometimes. I told her I never mourn the past, because it's what makes me today, with all the good and the bad. I told her that the life we've lived, and will continue to live together, is the brightest light and strongest pillar in my life. And wishing for anything else feels dishonest and untrue to me. She agreed it was similar for her, but she still wonders anyway. I know that while this isn't a time limit, it still feels like one. I don't know if or when she will come to resent me or our relationship because of a need to see what's out there, or I guess more kindly, explore love in others. An irony is that her sister was dumped by her ex because he wanted to see what's out there, and we laughed at his stupidity years ago, and I feel like that is happening in slow motion for me. That being said, I feel at a minimum that I got to put my foot down, both for her and for myself. I am preparing for the worst to come while hoping for the best. I still want us to work out because what we have is too precious to just toss away. Call me an idiot, but I am willing to try. And if her need to love others supersedes her need for me, so be it. I'll be ready either way. The threat of the end doesn't have to mean daily despair. It can mean a reason to take every day with grace and gratitude. And that's how I'll choose to move forward. Thank you truly, everyone. I feel the love and support from all of you. Maybe in a few months, I'll let you know how it all goes. Update. I am getting ready to leave my marriage. A while ago, my wife wanted to open up our marriage to non-monogamy and polyamory, and I was really against it. But in the end, I accepted because I loved her so much. I accepted because we were under the care of a therapist who turned out to have no certifications and was just a sex coach. I accepted because I wanted her to be happy. We have always been each other's #1 supporters in all endeavors, and I don't want to stop now. But after almost 2 years of nonstop suffering and crying myself to sleep every night, hoping that she'll finally see me and realize all the hurt she's caused, I'm done crying. Almost 2 years after she brought up non-monogamy and polyamory, we were in the couples therapist office. The day had come. We had negotiated the terms of our new relationship structure, and she was all but happy to hit the go button. I remember walking out of that office feeling dejected. We went to some restaurant serving tofu soup, and she was making my bowls for me while I just stared at them, not eating at all. Inside, I was trying to cry, but it felt like I already cried all the tears I could cry over the many months I mourned our marriage. We overcame so much together, and she was willing to throw it away for some furs on, with pretty profile pictures that could never, ever know or care for her the way that I do. But that's the thing, right? It's not those people's fault. It's her. I refuse to believe she stopped caring about me. I refused it so hard that I let the relationship go on for months, while I slowly lost myself and became just an accessory for her pleasure. I remember this one night we were talking, and I asked her, "Is non-monogamy so important to you that you are willing to hurt me and risk this relationship for it?" After some pauses, she actually said yes. I should have known then, but I refused to believe it. But the agreement was a go. She could date. Supposedly, I could too. I brought it up, and she said, maybe we should negotiate that with the couple's therapist first. So I didn't. Anyway, I only wanted her. Idiot me. And what does she go and do? Well, she told me, "Oh, I'm just going to update my profile. I don't really have the energy to date right now." Only a few weeks later, she goes to New York to visit friends. A packed schedule, it seemed. But hey, it turns out she had one afternoon open. So she quickly updated her dating profile and met someone that same day. She says she did it because she knew it wouldn't go anywhere, living so far from New York. But well, they kissed. And that was that. She didn't tell me until she came back under the therapist's guidance. And when she did, I just collapsed. I went into a full-grade anxiety attack that came and went for 2 days straight. When I finally came to my senses after many calls to friends and running so much that my legs felt like they were falling off, I finally sat her down to talk. I told her I couldn't do it. I can't do polyamory. I can't live a lie. I told her that I felt like my needs stopped mattering 2 years ago, and that I'd been reduced to just serving for her pleasure. Initially, she felt shocked and upset that she couldn't be there for me. I felt a glimmer of hope, and then all of a sudden, she gets angry. She gets angry that I was lying to her, and that the non-monogamy agreement was made on a lie, made on the premise that we were both in it despite me being distraught every single time it was brought up. "You're an adult," she said. "I trust you to say no." She said she was having a hard time trusting me and was pissed that I didn't pursue a therapist for myself if I felt like I couldn't advocate for my needs. She even told me that she had suggested as much months ago to deal with being partnered with someone with a mental illness, even if that mental illness has been largely managed through meds. She told me she needed space, and I left the room. I am still completely heartbroken. She awed me by forcing me into poly under duress, by forcing me into an open relationship, and by coercing me, and then she had the audacity to blame me for the fact that it happened. I mean, what kind of person forces their partner to do something when they clearly don't want it, and then blames them when things go south? It was right then and there that I realized, we're done. There's no us anymore. There's no pretending that, as much as she says she loves me, she doesn't love me in action. She doesn't care what my needs are, and she doesn't care to meet them. At the end of the day, she wants my unwavering emotional and financial support, while being able to date anyone whenever she wants. And because I'm not on board with that, I'm now the bad guy. It took me a while, but now I am certain. F this marriage, F this relationship. She stopped caring about me the moment she decided that dating other people was more important than being my partner. She stopped loving me the moment she decided her needs were so important that my needs might as well not matter. I'm done. Next month, I'm moving out and divorcing her. I am contacting divorce lawyers now, and I'm getting all my finances in a bunch. I can't continue to devote myself to someone who only cares about herself. I'm going to have to learn what it means to stand on my own again. It's a scary thought, but I know deep down that I matter too. I deserve to be happy, and God damn it, I'm going to be happy.